What's going on, you guys? JTPrecisionStriking.com. Now in this video, I want to show you 6 ways that you can maximize your reach as a boxer. Now this can apply for both the long range outside fighter who is trying to take advantage of their reach, advantage to keep the pressure fighter off, to keep creating those angles. Or it can be, as in my case, typically a shorter range fighter who's trying to get inside, but I want to make the most of the reach that I have. So I'm not always having to work so hard and move my head all the time to get in. Because once you start moving your head all the time to get in, it's a good tactic and it's a good style and strategy. But a lot of times the outside fighters can start to feed you shots and time you and set you up. They get you to move your head. Boom. So every now and then when you have that reach, you could just go straight in with it. Go right in if you have the position set up right and you maximize your reach. Now the first 3 are more about maximizing your reach, getting the most out of the reach you do have, and the last 3 are more about mitigating a lack of reach or sort of taking advantage of other aspects of distance to offset a lack of reach. Otherwise, I think we're ready to go. Let's get into it right now. All right, the first one is focused on the upper body. I don't think a lot of fighters extend the shoulder when they punch. So you have to understand a full and complete punch is not just here with the arm extended, it's here. This shoulder blade, scapula has to come forward. Now I'm sure there's a proper anatomical term for it, protraction or whatever it is. Here, bringing that forward like so. So when you punch, it's all one motion, and that is the completion of the motion. So you don't want to go here, boom. You don't want to go here and then like this. This shoulder blade comes forward and you finish, right, like so. Now the beauty of that is that shoulder blade coming forward is what protects your chin in the punch. Here, when I go forward my shoulder blade, now I tuck my chin and I hide it right behind my shoulder. So I'm getting maximum reach, maximum power, and protecting my chin at the same time. You'll see a lot of fighters or even some coaches talking about raising the shoulder. Now that can be done, but that's not typically what you're going to see most often. If you really look at really good fighters and really good boxers, not lifting the shoulder, they're extending the shoulder out. So yes, I guess you can lift your shoulder. I don't really recommend or teach that because I don't think it's effective. You want to have a good jab, a good punch, and that comes from bringing the shoulder forward. You tuck the chin down behind it. That's how you get maximum reach, maximum power, and protect yourself at the same time. So make sure you work on that, bringing that shoulder blade forward here, okay, to make the most out of your range in your punch. All right, the next one, I'm going to give you a close-up view like this. A lot of fighters don't realize that they're actually not throwing their straight punches straight. They're actually sort of throwing them because your arms are out here and the way you turn your body, you're actually kind of throwing them across or like slightly diagonally into this center. Now, those are still effective punches. It's not like those are bad punches. But in order to get maximum range, if that's what you're looking for, you want those punches to truly come straight, which means at the last second, you're bringing that punch almost like it's coming into the center line and then kind of goes straight. Like so, you really have to straighten out that punch. Otherwise, what happens is your straight punches are kind of slightly going off on angles like that. And that's fine if the target is within range, boom, boom. But what you really want, if you want to maximize your range, is you straighten that shot out, turn the shoulder, turn the body, and straighten that shot out at the last second here. So it's just a small little detail to think about. It's not going to make much difference, give you maybe a little bit of extra edge, but actually it will often frustrate the opponent when you have those straight shots and you're able to really pop them straight. You'll see they'll come right down the opponent's center line and now they have a whole new challenge to deal with. So punches like this, boom, 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 they're fine, they're effective. But when you want to really maximize that reach, you really have to make a point of straightening them out at the end at the very end, really getting that punch coming straight down the pipe. And it's a small little adjustment. It will make a difference in getting that little bit more extra reach. You don't have to throw every punch like that, but if you want to have a nice effective jab, straight right hand, boom, boom. You look at the straight right hand, Anthony Joshua against Ngannou. That first straight right, just coming straight right down the pipe, like so, really throwing it straight. So just make sure to work on that. Get those punches coming nice and straight down the pipe. All right, for the next one, I'm gonna bring you back to the bag. To get more reach, you widen your base on your punch. Now, sounds simple enough, but if you haven't trained and conditioned your legs for this, it's going to be difficult. But basic theory is this. Here, I'm out of range. I can't touch the bag. If I take a short step, right? A short step, I can make contact with the bag here, right? And that's good if you're within range and want to take a short, quick step. But if I want to get a little more reach, let's say I need it, I take a longer step. I widen my base. Of course, there is a cost to this. The cost is to take that longer step, takes time, and you can be read a little bit easier. So you're going to have to make sure you're a little unpredictable with it. But here, simple enough, instead of here, right, if I take a wider step, right, all of a sudden I can make contact. So here when I go, right, see my contact is much more solid. I get more reach, taking that longer step. I can box from out here, right? If I take that longer step, as opposed to a lot of fighters taking the quick step, short step, that's fine. But if I can take a longer step quickly and maintain good balance, I can get more range. Especially for the right hand, one that I really like to do is working quick jabs, but then take a longer step with the right hand. Take a nice deep long step, you get a lot of range on the right hand. You see a lot of good fighters do that. Watch Canelo versus Amir Khan. When he throws that big right hand, he takes that step in. There's a big deep step, right? And you'd be surprised how long or how wide of a step some pro boxers take. When you really watch them in slow-mo and you freeze at the point of impact, you'll see that when they need it, when they call upon it, they could take a long range step. But a lot of beginners don't have the leg conditioning. So it's just something that you want to work on. Throw your quick shots, right? And then practice a deeper step. Okay, get in deep. Take that longer range step with that front foot, and that's going to allow you more reach, get in a little bit deeper, a little bit closer. All right, next one. This isn't so much about getting maximum reach as it is mitigating your lack of reach. And one of the things that mitigates lack of reach is foot speed. Foot speed is huge. Faster foot speed means you cover distance. You cover distance quicker. Covering distance faster is almost like having more distance. One of the best fighters right now for covering distance, Gervonta Davis. One of the best fighters before for covering distance, Manny Pacquiao. And Mayweather also is really good with this as well, being able to cover distance. So it's just something that you want to work on all the time and pay attention to. That I don't want to just get from A to B. When I'm here boxing, I don't want to just work on getting from A to B. I want to work on getting from A to B as fast as possible. I want to get there fast, get to my target fast. And so you're working on your foot speed and your drive throughout your workouts, throughout your training. And I can assure you, constantly training fast foot speed will start to show up in your sparring and in your fights as you keep working on it. So you're there and you're working the bag, and then you're working on that foot speed. Moving. Okay, constantly working on it. When you hit that bag, it's not just about fast hands, it's about fast feet. Getting your feet there faster. Fast feet cover distance faster. You might as well have a longer reach or longer range, because then from here you can get off and attack, even if someone has longer reach, before they can react, and you can follow them all the way to the ropes. If you need to, apply pressure and use it to get inside. Same if you're an outside fighter, you're outside long range, you keep the extra range. You can use foot speed to attack and also get out quicker. Foot speed is huge for covering distance and creating distance. All right, next one. Having good defense and head movement, which allows you to get closer, to fight from closer. Watch Canelo versus Kovalev in their fight. Watch how close Canelo can get with that good defense and good head movement working the high guard. So if you need to cover distance, part of it is getting to the distance where you want to be. If I have to fight from out here because I'm always reacting and always trying to get away, well, that long range opponent is pushing me off. They're keeping me way on the outside. They're comfortable. But if I have good defense and I can knock down punches and move and react, not just always here, not just always with head movement, tying yourself out, but hands up, cover, block, block, pull, working the pull, slip, block, block, and using that to get to where I want to be, and then being able to go in with my attack. I'm right at the distance I want to be. And I'm wearing out my opponent as they're punching, and I'm moving and blocking and defending. But the key is you have to work on your defense and head movement to get to that point. If your defense and head movement is not up to level, you're just going to get tagged. So you start to make a point of working on it. Hands up. Okay, even if the body shots come. Okay, moving. Then you go in, but you have to be able to work. You close that perimeter just that little bit more. Work your defense and head movement. Get in that little bit closer so you can start from where you want to start from. This is going to nullify, to a great extent, an opponent who has much longer range than you. You can start to bring it closer and closer and closer. Defense and head movement and reaction in order to tighten the perimeter. All right, the last one is how you use that rear foot, that back foot to drive off of, and you work that with lateral motion. If I'm working a perimeter here and I'm moving with lateral motion, that back foot is always setting down, picking up and setting down, picking up and setting down. Where I set it down and when, that's my point where I can drive from, where I can go. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, without that foot setting down, I can't attack, right? So that foot is set. Where I set that foot down determines how effectively I can cover distance. So for example, if I have the foot back here, okay, well now this is where I'm technically starting from. I'm driving from there. I'm driving from that point. However, if that foot is here, okay, now all of a sudden things are a little bit quicker because I'm actually technically starting from a closer distance. So one thing that really has worked effectively for me is to move around, lateral motion, and then every now and then pull that back foot in to disguise sort of how close I am to my opponent. So I may be out here and then working combos, or I may be working head movement and getting in, and they're used to me fighting from this range. They're used to me working from that range. And then every now and then I'm either gonna step here, a little bit closer if I'm moving to the right, see here, here, that little bit closer, boom, it's not much, but it's 2 to 3 inches closer, or I'm moving this way, here. See that? Instead of going there, I go here. That little bit closer. And all of a sudden now, instead of being out there, if I move a little bit closer, I'm driving from a shorter distance. And I'm able to get there so much faster. And it works really effectively, especially if you can work it on the outside like here. Right? You just take that little back step in. Boom. Now you disguise it by moving around with lateral motion. So you don't want to just freeze in front of your opponent and then try to pull some stunt like that. You're on the outside, you're moving. Maybe you're faking, feinting. And then you're going to work it. Right? Just right there. Pulling that back foot. And you can work on this side too. You set it down. It's going to take practice. It's not just something that you're going to get easy like most boxing. Once you start to practice it, and then it gets built in, second nature, working that back foot, pulling that back foot in a little bit closer. It gives you a closer starting point. You're able to cover distance so much faster. All right, you guys, I hope you can implement those tips right away into your boxing. Particularly, you can already start training all of these, even today. You can start working on them today. Slowly over time, you're gonna see the benefit, and especially if you can compound them, you're really gonna see the benefit, maximizing your reach, getting in closer, making the most of the reach that you do have. And make sure to check out the membership on this channel. That's the join button. Links are all down below. I have beginner lessons, tons of virtual pads, training camps, all kinds of stuff there for you. Hundreds and hundreds of hours, tons of videos there to really elevate you from wherever you are in your boxing up to the next level. One of the most affordable ways you can learn boxing right now as well. Check that out down below. In the meantime, keep your hands up, chin down, eyes on the prize. Peace.